Flight Cup sponsored by Paint, exactly. Oh no, this is actually called the Shit Posting Cup, but close. Alright, so it's Hall of Llamas and Omega Leakers. Alright? Hall of Llamas, Omega Leakers. So that's Frozen and 4 Hall versus Zeker and somebody else. Are the Omega Leakers currently prepared for this game? If not, we can always go to the next game. Okay, so it's Omega or Zeker. No, Zeker. I couldn't remember what his username was. I knew it was Omega, but I'm like, what? Somebody. Alright. We got tournament mode on. Are you guys ready for this one? This is some quality content, guys. I love this idea. The shit posting cup. I'm going to change my title real quick on Twitch. Alright, hold on. I'm going to change my title on Twitch. Alright, ready, guys? Omega, 4 Hall, Frozen, Leaker. Alright. So, the guild advantage. Goddamn. Alright, so we've got Hall of Llamas on West team and Omega Leakers on East team. Is the first matchup of these two. First of, I would presume many, because, you know, they're going to be in the bottom bracket together. It's going to be a banger for sure. One guy can only play redraw, so he's going to be in a disadvantage. I don't know Omega how he plays. Frozen 4 are a little bit lower on the elo side, but let's see how it goes. Everybody ready? We get an RDY in the chat. All right, make sure if you are in the matches, please mute the stream. If you want to watch me cast, I will have these all marked down. Looks like we got everybody but Zeker ready. Alright, cool. Turn sound off, then we're fine. Alright, so I will mute and minimized. Cool. I'm going to do a stream marker here. Alright, so we've got Hall of Llamas, consisting of Frozen Llama and 4 versus Omega Leakers, which is Omega and Zeker. Tournament style selected, and we go. All right. Let's see how this goes, ladies and gents. It does look like they are currently in the process of giving us our season rewards, and that's why things are currently minimized. It should be an interesting one. I know Frozen has played for quite some time, and just realistically doesn't play very much anymore. But we'll kind of see. Zeker, excuse me, is a great player, but the problem is without redraw, I don't know how good he really is. He was literally a redraw main. So taking that out, unless redraw is the 1 in 8 chance he gets it here, I think redraw is going to be a little bit of of his crutch in some of his ranked modes, right? So we'll see kind of what happens. We got a little bit of time here because Frozen will take a second. Make sure you get your bets in. Do you guys think the Hall of Llamas on West team are going to win, or the Omega Leakers on the East team? So we'll see, kind of see what happens. I have not seen a redraw since switching things into the Mastermind 2.0 mode. So we'll see. We got actually some good spells. We got Pawn Shop, Venture, and Embargo. So we see Greed on Frozen, Lock-in Gatling, Greed on 4. And what is Lock-in Yazora for Zeker? That actually makes a lot of sense. So keep in mind now, we have double Greed on West team and double Lock-in on East team. That 2 income may not make a huge difference, but it is a change, and it is something that you got to keep in mind. I'll kind of see what Frozen and 4 do for openers. Yozora is literally Zeeker's most played unit. I am not surprised by this whatsoever. Looking at both their builds, I would have preferred to see Frozen go something like Fire Ellie or even Quarrel into Windhawk into Violet. Or he's got Bone Crusher and Aqua, which is really good. You literally just place Bone Crusher and then place Aqua 2 in front of it. Really easy to do if anybody doesn't know how. Let's see here. Ooh, Omega has a great late game role of, you know, Holy Avenger healing. It's just, can he get there? You know, like that's the question I have. Zeker does not have a tier 1. Cheapest unit is the Gargoyle. Not necessarily a problem, just something that you got to kind of keep in mind. What did Frozen say about? So only one person, so everyone but Zeker got to send last. That's kind of important. Double Snail coming in. So this should be a 5-worker start for Frozen. Oh, last second Mudman. Gotcha. That could be it. It could be it. It could be that he thought his teammate wasn't here. This should be a 5-worker start for Frozen. I'm just going to message him. Make sure everything's good. Make sure there was no bugs, because we have to restart the lobby or something of the sort. Ah, you see Blunder here. He does not need to build. He holds Ascend on 2. So he definitely should be 5-worker. Frozen could be easily 5-worker in this situation. 4-worker all around. I don't necessarily dislike the 4-worker out of 4, especially considering the fact that he's pretty low value in the situation. Ah, no, okay. Frozen was just yes. It's exactly what we were saying. It was just he thought his teammate wasn't here. So not a big deal. We'll see Frozen go 5-worker now. Absolutely tragic, DG Slayer. Absolutely tragic, DG Slayer. Maybe you get the win next time. Okay, so we see some big sends coming in, honestly. I think Zeker might leak. There is a potential here. No, I think if he would have went simply just Serpent here, he probably holds. I think that might be enough, though. That might be enough. Double Garg is pretty damn strong, especially with Yozora on 3. So, you know, he's probably fine. He's probably fine. It depends, obviously, always on aggro. How things aggro is important. A Snail into Frozen here. He should easy hold this. Again, with his positioning a little bit better, I think he'd hold it pretty much guaranteed every time. Maybe not. His positioning might have cucked him a little bit here. He might pro leak now. Yeah, he should have, I think, realistically held that, but his positioning is just a little bit piss poor. If the Windhawk's farther down, as well as the Bone Warrior farther down, allows the Zeus to get 1 or 2 more attacks in, should be fine. Other than that, like maybe even just doing a single Aqua. That being said, you know, not the end of the world. He should realistically still be 6-worker. He's still solid on this next wave, so I think this probably should have been a 6-worker setup for him. 6-worker, and you still could have went an Aqua or anything of the sort. Just Crusher here. I don't just really dislike the Crusher play in this situation. He gives him a tank. The problem I have is the Crusher is a little too far back to actually split tank correctly. What do we see here? The classic Buckler out of Zeker. I think the resend here by Zeker is probably fine. I think it's a good play. I just don't think it will get him. I think Frozen's got enough tank here and enough DPS that he should full hold this. He's getting about best case scenario, a couple units tagging onto his Zeus here, causing it to split tank with the Bone Crusher. He should easily push 2 workers here, in my opinion. He's sitting really nicely. Question I have for him is more or less 7 and 8, not 5, 6, especially with his current setup. We do see a send out of 4 here. No sends out of Frozen or Omega. So I think Frozen's going for the 6 send into the Gatling. I don't dislike this play. unless he's doing something out of income, which he could be. Zeker with the classic Pilgrim and the Vax setup. He loves to do this. He loves Yazora Pilgrim. If he gets those, he's usually in a pretty comfy spot. 4 being below on workers right now is kind of a little bit sad. That being said, Omega is starving on him, so he should be still lower on worker count, right? In this situation, the Gatling is taking aggro still, so we should be able to see a pretty large send. If Frozen can simply get out a Cannoneer, I think he leaks his guy pretty good. Ooh, interesting. Dark Mage is something I did not anticipate here. Cannoneer coming out, perfect send, I think. Cannoneer just obliterates everything he's got right now, including Mudman if he does choose to go that route here. I think that's a great idea. Probably sets up for Millennium on 7. That would be a good call, probably, with Dark Mage. Yeah, that would probably be the best play for him, Typhon. You are correct there. He does not get the... he does not get the Garg, or just Grarl, but I think he's in a position here with this build that he should be able to shift. Oh, he doesn't. He chooses to go an extra Windhawk. You see, I personally would have shifted here. I don't dislike the push, though, either. I don't dislike the full push. So, you know, it is what it is. The Seraphine does take aggro here just because of that snail, I think. Little boy got scared, I think, had a nightmare and woke up and started barking. I think realistically, the long save into Omega for him to hold from Omega for him to not get the leak here would be disastrous, and for him to also leak here is not great. A less of a leak than I would have anticipated, honestly, with the Cannoneer coming in from Frozen. But he still does a pretty good job. The hold here is huge. The hold here is absolutely huge. For him to get sent Imps and a Snail, try hard send, right? Imps really is going for the leak, right? And then for them to get the leak here, especially when everything considered, you know, he's in a bad spot, right? So, I don't know how 4 wants to navigate this now. He's got double war, which are absolutely atrocious here, and he's already under value. If he full builds, I think he goes over value too much, but he doesn't have like a DPS unit. It's the thing I worry about. So he goes another Chain Fist, and then push 2. I don't dislike this. I'm a little nervous though about 4 here. I don't think they can see my pings, so hope. I think Frozen probably should have resent here on 8, and he is. Okay, so that's perfect. I don't necessarily like 4 resenting the DT here. That's what I thought. This is a gnarly situation. That's kind of what I was worried about. He doesn't have really DPS on the wave, right? I think he still holds just because of the healing, but it's a lot closer than it really needed to be. Depends on if this one dies. Get the heals off. Okay, I think you hold. Woo! That is extremely close hold by 4 here. If anything, it's going to be an interesting one. Zeker is sending here pretty big into both of them. Zeker's getting a pretty big send in the Mole, I should say, and then Mole on both. Wow. Okay. I don't necessarily like Mole on 4 here. He doesn't have much for multi-target damage, or this is fast attacking damage. That being said, I think 4 definitely needs to go with Alpha Male here. If I were to make a call, Alpha Male for sure. The Lioness just sucks without any buffs. So what is he planning on? Going a second Oathbreaker. Ugh. Don't love that. Don't love that. Might be okay. He does harden. He does harden, so there's something. On the bright side, Frozen I think does get his guy, or at least is closer to getting his guy. He does kill the mole relatively quickly. I don't know if it's enough, though. Seems to be quite a big leak coming. Frozen. 200 send is pretty hard to beat. And then on top of that, you know, you just gotta deal with it. Omega leak's pretty good. There's something, 69%, nice. But Frozen's teammate not holding, so there's no cover here. That's, you know, 125% leak in total. No buffs on the way, but they have no king ups. It's gonna be a little bit rough for them to win this game now. I do understand why 4 did not want to send into Zeker on these waves. I understand why he wanted to send on 9. But now Zeker's going to get a ton of value, and that worries me quite a bit because he's going to get a ton of gold from this, right? He's getting, so far, 100. Let's see what he gets up to. It looks close to be 175 gold from this leak. 184. So any send they have here now on 9 is going to be near null and void because that's just an absolutely monstrous send, a monstrous amount of gold they just received and just acquired. It's really tough to go around. Sorry guys, the missus just texted me. I wanted to make sure I get back to her in a reasonable manner because she's off here in a bit. You see, I don't understand the Hermit by 4 here. You see the fact that he has Serpents, so why the Hermit? You know, right? Like I struggle with people that send Hermit too frequently. It's just not as good of a send as people often think it is, and most times you're just going to hurt yourself and your teammate. That being said, it looks like 4 is holding to a no send here, and Frozen did hold the send by Zeker. He also has 0 AoE. Well, he does have Yozora, which is technically speaking an AoE unit. Frozen is going to get Omega, though. So Frozen is in the carry here. Position here. Frozen has to be able to carry this game mid to late. I think it's the only way you can really go about it, right? You can just see, though, Frozen lost a ton of gold to leaks. 84 gold to leaks. It's less than Omega, but I think combined it's about equal out. So that's kind of the thing. Got to kind of play around. We're getting some big sends coming in by Omega and Zeker here. It's a little bit scary. In this situation, I would have loved to see another alpha male or something to try to help assist on this wave. He is hardening, but he's got 86 gold left over, and it's just one of those things. What are you doing with it, you know? I don't really get the Mimic into 4. I don't really either. It's one of those things they just sent the Mimic, I feel like, to just get the Mimic. I at least understand the Mole and the Frozen, right? The Mole, I mean, at least makes sense. I don't really get the Mimic. I think he's going to leak regardless, but if he sent an Ogre or anything, really, it would have been a better play. Frozen barely going to leak, not a huge deal. Frozen actually leaking what I would probably expect from him. 69% though out of 4, while being nice, is kind of sad. A pack leader here, but as Drash pointed out, very much would have been a better play. The Mimic is just not enough. I think they do die here, but that's game. The Mimic got maybe 1. Defeat. Maybe got 1 gold. I think the Mudman probably tanking would have been a good situation as well. 4, I think, just had his build a little bit upside down. Imp Turtles would have been great. Yeah, I don't disagree with either of those. So Omega Zeker does move on. It kind of went, not that I anticipated this, but I did think Zeker Omega could get the win out here. I think the big problem is that 4's build just kind of got a little scuffy, and on some of these waves, right? Like the 6 hold was huge, but then he just was really weak on 7-8 because of that long save, and it just, I think, got him really upside down. He got starved pretty hard by Omega early. Just kind of unfortunate, tragic, really. realistically, Frozen did a good job, I think. Aside from, I think if he would have just not placed the Windhawk and went for the Millennium, I think that would have been possibly a play. But yeah, so for the future, you want your Mudman to be tanking. You don't want your Mudman to be way over here on the left. You want it to be the right-hand side, so that it can tank for your alphas and your Lioness, right? So if anything, you'd flip these, and you'd probably be in a better position. I think that's really what got you in a lot of this build, is that you just had way too high of a split on the right, and then your Mudman, which are tanks, not DPS units, tanks, ended up tanking last, which doesn't really benefit you at all. I think Frozen, you did a good job leaking Omega. You capitalized off the fact that he was starving. It just wasn't enough. So that's it for Hall of Llamas and Omega Leakers. So Omega Leakers does move on to the semis. I guess we'll actually pull this up here. So it'll be Shark Brothers versus Omega Leakers in the semis on the upper side of the bracket. Hall of Llamas is dead. So we see Swemp +1 versus Froggo Admirers now. Oh, there we go. So Swemp +1 versus Omega Leakers. Not Omega Leakers. Froggo Admirers.